Welcome to an Alzheimer's Update with Dana. Welcome back, Dana.
Thank you so
You
much.
work with the Alzheimer's Association for the state of Wisconsin. And I've had you here before, and we've talked about many different topics relating with Alzheimer's research, and where we are currently and coming forward. So the first thing I'd like you to let our audience know is the facts and figures as far as Alzheimer's dementia affecting people and the numbers.
Absolutely. So our 2025 Facts and Figures report was released at the end of April, and it lets us know nationally and here in the state of Wisconsin the prevalence of the disease. And for the first time ever, nationally, over 7 million people age 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's. So that's important to note, one, because again, the first time over 7 million. But you have to think, that's age 65 and older. That doesn't even count the people with early onset who might be in their 50s or even 40s.
Yep.
And that doesn't count other types of dementia like Lewy body, vascular, frontotemporal. So really what you can know for sure is that more than 7.2 million folks in this country have some form of dementia. The numbers are growing.
Okay. And those statistics are done annually? It's not like a quarterly?
It is annual, and every year the Alzheimer's Association zeroes in on different things to update. So the national numbers are usually done annually. The state numbers might be done every couple of years.
Okay.
So right now, Wisconsin, the numbers are the same, which is that almost 111,000 people in this state alone are living with Alzheimer's.
Okay. And when they're looking at all the states and they're seeing maybe a higher incidence in another state, are they looking at any environmental factors at that time?
Absolutely. There was a big study last year about the effect of, smog, air pollution. So some of those larger cities with big industry are going to have a higher incidence for sure.
Interesting. Okay. All right. And then moving forward, there's going to be some new treatments that are available. And in the past, we've talked about treatments that were available. And there's some new ones now. And I was going to have you here a month ago, but you said, let's wait because these are going to be FDA approved.
Yeah, well, so the exciting thing is, as part of this Facts and Figures report, the Alzheimer's Association surveyed individuals about how they feel about treatment and early diagnosis. Is that something people want? And overwhelmingly they do. I'm just looking here, up to 4 in 5 Americans feel optimistic about Alzheimer's treatments and where we're going. 92% of Americans would want a medication that slows the progression. And I don't know, some people might think, well, of course, but there are risks involved with any medication for dementia or not. There are side effects. There are things about, would you want to know if you have Alzheimer's super early or would you just want to live your life? But the facts are showing people want to know early so that if they have it, they can deal with it. And to your point about treatments, in years past, all we had were medications that could address symptoms, help symptoms of agitation or forgetfulness or things like that. But now we have 2 FDA-approved treatments of the disease that actually go in and remove the amyloid plaque in the brain, which is a hallmark of the disease. So now we're actually getting to the core of it. Okay. And slowing the progression. And where we're going is being able to stop progression, reverse, and then prevent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, these medications are readily available?
So the thing about that is they are available right now. There's 2. There is Leqembi and Kisunla. But the thing we have to remember is they are available, but how widely, right? Someone that lives in Madison can get it easier than someone who lives in Ashland, right? With the prevalence of this disease growing and the need for these treatments growing, the infrastructure has to grow with it. And we're not quite there yet in terms of where in the state can you get those treatments. Right now, they're infusions that you have to get either once or twice a month. So if you are in Ashland, say, and you can't get it there, a couple times a month, you're going to have to make quite a trek to get it. That's the reality right now, is the medication or the treatments exist, but does everyone have equal access? That's just as important to the Alzheimer's Association to make sure, but that's something that's in process.
I know recently the Alzheimer's Association met with state senators, I believe.
Yeah.
And that meeting was crucial because
It's always crucial. I mean, right now, both at the state and the federal levels, we're looking at, where are our funding dollars going?
Okay.
Right now is such a crucial time in research, right? We are so close. So this is not the time to be backing off, right? We need to be leaning in, pushing towards more money and finally getting, these treatments that reverse and cure, right? We got to go further. And so it was really important to meet with our lawmakers, keep that at the front of their minds. Something we're also trying to do is create guidelines and standards for memory care facilities so that every memory care facility in the state is judged by the same standard across the board.
Great.
We always have certain priorities that we're keeping in touch with our lawmakers about.
Okay. So we've talked about 2 great medications. There's also other things that they found in their research that, as a person who might be concerned, maybe they have, Alzheimer's, dementia inside the family itself, there are some methodologies that they've obviously researched.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about a little bit about that last time we were here. We talked about listening to music and reading and doing puzzles. Is there anything else that is coming to the forefront in that area of keeping the brain active and keeping the body healthy?
Well, I have to say, it's a double-edged sword in that it's nothing crazy, right? And that's good and bad, because it's things like the things that keep your heart healthy is what keeps your brain healthy. So it is exercising, not smoking, keeping diabetes in check. It is like challenging the brain. It is, whether you've had more education rather than less. So staying in school, things like that. The good thing is we're not asking anything crazy of anyone. I think these are quote unquote simple things to do,
Right.
and yet we know that they're not, right? We
Right.
know that many of us, take some of that for granted. Sleep, a huge one, right? And a lot of us, we're so busy in our day to day that we let that slip to, 5 or 6 hours. You need to be getting 8. So it really just takes a commitment to doing some of these brain healthy things, but it can certainly reduce your risk, though it's not a guarantee.
So you mentioned staying in school, and for our viewers that really never received a college education, there's really no discrepancy, because I know many people that have those degrees that really were affected whether they were in their 40s or 50s.
That's true.
But learning something new is I think a good way to put staying in school, right? You're
I
learning
agree.
something new.
Yeah.
So at least for me, when I'm learning something new, I'm going back to school and I'm going to take notes.
Yeah, and
so-
things are so readily available. Like if you download the Duolingo app for free, you can get started on learning a new language. Or,
Okay.
go on YouTube and search something you've been wanting to learn. And yeah, just new things is a great point to
Yeah.
just keeping your brain active.
Yeah. There's a helpline I know for the Alzheimer's Association, and then there's also the website.
Mhm.
And those are readily available tools to our general public.
Yeah.
And that can be found whether they reach out to someone that could be helping them, because some people just are not familiar. They're not good with the computer.
Sure. Well, so okay, to that point, I know we just said not everyone's good with a computer.
Yeah.
I will say we are developing an app
Okay.
on your phone that will help people like with a new diagnosis who are new to this, wondering what steps to take. That's coming out soon, so look out for that.
Okay.
But yeah, a phone number,
Mhm.
24/7 for free in like over 200 languages.
Great.
That's a dementia expert who can help guide you, give advice about caregiving, or if you have questions about the disease itself. But yeah, the website has so much info for wherever you're at. If you're wondering, hey, is this a sign of normal aging versus something to be worried about, we've got stuff on there as well.
Great. Now, obviously, a lot of the Alzheimer's Association has a lot of fundraising going on to continue the research and to continue to help provide that free helpline and provide some free services, with, whether it's transportation or medication. And coming up, we're going to have one locally here. This is obviously being filmed in Hartford, but West Bend, which is about 25 minutes away, is going to be having their Alzheimer's walk.
Yeah, the walk down Alzheimer's, Washington County, so that includes Hartford where we are. That's Saturday, September 27th at Regner Park. And so all you have to do is really go to alz.org/walk, and you can search for Washington County, and you can register. Fundraising is important. Like you said, that's how we keep services free, like support groups and the helpline. But it's technically not a requirement. I mean, if you just want to come out and support, we'd love to have you join just for that.
Great. And they can just come in without registering online. They can register right on site.
That's true. That's true.
So starting at 8 o'clock, I believe, at Regner Park is when that starts, or 8:30?
That's kind of when we get started.
Okay.
But, you know, the walk itself would be 10. So just make sure, especially if you're not registered, just get there before 10 so that you can get out on the trail with everybody.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming in today, Dana.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. And to our viewers, as always, thank you for watching.